Welcome to the Inquisitive Wren podcast. I'm Shaw, your host. Join us as we explore diverse perspectives on the human experience, offering insightful interviews and deep reflections on philosophy, spirituality, psychology, from a bird's eye view on the essence of being. Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of the Inquisitive Wren podcast with me, Shaw, your host. As we close another transformative year of the Inquisitive Wren podcast, let us celebrate 6 standout episodes from season 3 and 4, all encompassing, that sparked curiosity, challenged beliefs, and inspired personal growth. We've released 29 episodes, and that is 29 opportunities to help spark inspiration, curiosity, and contribute to your personal growth and improve your quality of life. We've been privileged to feature some of the world's most influential thought leaders, from psychologists, therapists, and best-selling authors, comedians, musicians, spiritual thought leaders, and neuroscientists who've shared their most effective and inspiring tips and strategies for living a more desirable and enjoyable life by offering clear understanding of how our minds, how our bodies, and our souls operate on a daily basis. I also offered for the first time a subscription service on Spotify and Apple that offers bonus episodes covering behind the scenes of the podcast, how to deal with depression, anxiety, anger, and a very rare personal moment that I share on why I became a counselor. These episodes are packed with science-based information in layman's terms, with easy-to-follow tips and tricks on building mental stamina and well-being that lasts. Keep your eyes peeled for a detailed and exciting new episode on personality disorders, only available to paid subscribers. As we've wrapped up an eventful year for 2024, we've grown in leaps and bounds, and I'm so pleased to present to you a recap of our most compelling conversations that you won't want to miss. I outlined top takeaways and curious insights from a bird's eye view, of course, for each episode. Thank you for subscribing to the show, sharing it with anyone you think may want to hear it, because the metrics say that you are sharing the show. I am so grateful. And for leaving any reviews and comments. We really need your reviews. We need your comments. I like to engage. If you see any reviews on YouTube, you will see that I always engage with everyone. It means the world, and I appreciate you so much. With so many podcasts out there covering so many different topics, the fact that you choose me to listen to for however long an episode can be, and it can run up to an hour at times, I am ever so grateful. Every interaction helps me to continue to deliver to you content that I hope will make a difference in your life and help to scratch that inquisitive itch that we all get from time to time. By the end of this episode, you'll have the top 6 inquisitive insights from a bird's eye view that you can jot down and keep them handy to apply each and every day to supplement your daily life. As we reflect on an incredible year of thought-provoking conversations, here's a countdown of the top 6 episodes from season 3 and 4 that captured hearts and minds. Let's dive in.
Never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button right now. Thank you for your support. You make this podcast possible. Now, back to the show.
Coming in at number 6 is a solo episode titled Mastering the Spiritual Law of Relativity, Learning to Relate in a Connected Universe, Season 3, Episode 8. This episode is a welcome surprise for me, as I know that you enjoyed so many guests and the interviews being on the show. It was so nice to see this one listed as one of the top downloaded episodes for 2024. In this episode, I unlock the secrets of the spiritual principle of relativity, and I outline for you how to navigate relationships and challenges with greater empathy, balance, and understanding of our interconnected universe. It's all relative, as the saying goes, and it is. These are things we aren't always aware of, and listeners learn how to reflect on what they see, think, and believe, which informs their worldview. Here's a clip from that episode, which is a top takeaway and curious insight from a bird's eye view into how you can become more aware of this spiritual law and how you can improve your relationship with the connected universe, including yourself. And our way of thinking about something is usually in relation to our way of thinking about something else. So here we go back to the not absolute, it's in relation to something else. Because, spiritual laws, people often think that spirituality is woo-woo, it's out of the ordinary, it's, out of space, it's aliens, it's flippy-floppy, it's transparent and see-through, it's not solid or concrete. And really, I suppose a lot of that is magical thinking as such, and it's folklore as such. We have images of what we believe spirituality is all about or is, but that's in relation to something else, to what we think. Coming in at number 5 is the episode Transforming Reality, Consciousness and the Miracle of Death with Betty Kovacs, Season 3, Episode 9. Betty takes us on a profound journey into the mysteries of life and death, sharing insights that inspire a deeper appreciation for the human spirit and the interconnectedness of all existence. She also shares her near-death experiences and how this has shaped her view of the world in which we live. In this clip, Betty shares one of the many takeaways from the episode, and in this curious insight from a bird's eye view, she talks a lot about how we need to change our view and how things do fall upon us in order to spark that change of view, that shift in consciousness.
There had been scientists and mystics before. Those science and mystics studied consciousness. And it's just really hard to give a definition for that. That is simply our knowingness. And now quantum physicists who have taken a little step into the mystical to experience consciousness, they say consciousness is primary. It comes before matter. Consciousness creates matter. When matter is gone, consciousness continues. And I think that there has been so much investigation into this and evidence of this from near death, or as they say in the UK, actual death experiences, even the anecdotal experiences. One writer says, you can't dismiss that when in every age, every ethnic group, all around the world, people are having these same experiences. It's time to pay attention.
The number 4 spot goes to Stop Struggling and Start Thriving with Dr. Shawn with proven strategies. In this episode, Dr. Wren provides practical tools to help us move beyond burnout and beyond emotional blocks. Her expert strategies are a must-hear for anyone looking to thrive in all areas of life. Here's a clip from that episode, which is a top takeaway and curious insight from a bird's eye view into how we learn from being in all relationships. Extremely important. And we need to know who we are and how we operate, what we expect from others in order to know ourselves. Becoming aware of our behavior is key.
Like, knowledge is a starting point, but it's not always the change agent. In fact, it's rarely the change agent. So, knowing that you're depressed and then doing something about it are really different. And again, it's positive because it's hope, and it gives you a roadmap, and it gives you like words, and we can talk about it in a deeper way. But ultimately, relationship changes us, and we are changed by our daily life and being immersed with other human beings and doing that. So I have mixed feelings on the amount of information that there is about it. Because to diagnose or to use the word is not to heal.
A lot of it's being misrepresented and misdiagnosed. For instance, narcissism. There's so much emphasis on that.
Yeah.
The information.
It's one of those things where it's a psychological phenomenon where, like, you know a little bit about something, you feel like you know a lot. And the more you know about it, the more you realize you don't know. So I think there's a lot of people who feel like they know a lot because they're learning it, usually like via social media or watching shows or things, usually social media. But then it can be really invalidating too, because then they'll just like, I don't like this person, they're a narcissist. And then they write them off and you lose the humanity, which is, as a good therapist, if you know the diagnosis, it's a zip code. It tells you an area where a person is experiencing something, but it tells you pretty much nothing about who they are as a human and their experiences and what's going to work to heal them. So I think it allows us to label and write off people sometimes, and we are not labels. We never are.
Let's take a quick break from the show. And if you're enjoying today's episode of the Inquisitive Wren podcast, we'd love your support. Leaving a review, hitting that like button, and subscribing on your favorite platform not only helps us grow, but also ensures you never miss an inspiring conversation. Your comments mean the world to us. They spark new ideas, they connect us with incredible guests, and keep the energy flowing. Whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or watching on YouTube, or listening on your favorite platform, take a moment to share your thoughts and spread the word. Together, we're building a community that celebrates curiosity, growth, and transformation. Thank you for being a part of the Inquisitive Wren. Now, let's dive back into today's episode. Taking the number 3 spotlight is what happens when you break the mental health stigma. A conversation with John Nelson, Season 4, Episode 1. John shares his personal journey of challenging mental health stigmas, offering hopeful and actionable advice for creating a world of greater understanding and compassion. Here's a clip from that episode, which is a top takeaway and curious insight from a bird's eye view into the unfortunate workings of the healthcare system in America, and how money can prevent you from receiving the mental health treatment that you may so desperately need to improve your life. John shares how this can change.
The biggest issue that we have and the biggest unmet need that we have is absolutely annihilating, pulverizing, obliterating the stigma of mental illness. That's absolutely number one. The second one is the medication, is the treatment. So in the United States, in my opinion, it's by far our biggest public health crisis. It's absolutely, mental illness is more and more and more serious. Mental illness is huge. Severe depression, which is probably one of the most common conditions or most prolific conditions in the planet. Yes. How is this possible? Like, when we think about the technology that has been created in every single other aspect of our life, what we're doing is we are, as an unmet need, you can't get more of an unmet need than that. Millions and millions and millions and millions of people suffering, struggling. And I did ECT. I have many friends that did ECT too. And I can tell you the consistency that we have from ECT, yes, does it work for some people? Yes. The consistency that we have for ECT, from my experience and from everybody else's experiences, it doesn't work. And for me, not only did it not work, it made me worse. I ended up having severe side effects. I would fall over. I was literally so dizzy, I would fall over into my bed. I have significant memory loss from the time. And let me tell you how absolutely horrific it is to deal and live with a stigmatized condition. And guess what you get to have when you have a stigmatized condition? You get to add on that a stigmatized treatment. It's a lot of fun, right? 1 star, don't recommend. Doesn't get any worse than that. And so rather than everybody lining up to take you down to your chemotherapy, there's nobody lining up to take you down to the loony bin to get ECT. That's what we get. So another massive unmet need there is treatments. We need to absolutely improve them. And so, yes, I'm a version of that improvement, but still it takes a long time to get this approved and go on. But the United States, another unmet need is our insurance system is horrific. It's awful. It's miserable. And so not only am I trying to cure my mind is wrecked, right? Completely obliterated from this disease. How do you cure your mind when you're going financially in debt, when you're absolutely getting financially destroyed? And so I had to, for instance, with transcranial magnetic stimulation, I had to pay $495 36 times on my credit card, hoping that maybe I would be reimbursed from my insurance. So while I have my family back home, like completely watching me deteriorate, I'm trying to get better and I'm financially ruining my family. That's the environment that we have. So those are, I think, three of the biggest unmet needs by far is the absurdity of society, the fact that our medical treatments are as absolutely abysmal as they can be for this condition. And then just general, like, how do you heal when you're financially being ruined?
And breaking in at number 2 is Unlock a Winning Mindset. NFL Shawn Harper reveals all, Season 4, Episode 2. Former NFL player Shawn Harper shares his powerful playbook for success, teaching us how to redefine failure, embrace setbacks, and cultivate a mindset that wins in life. In this clip from the episode, a top takeaway and curious insight from a bird's eye view is how you can shift your mindset to a winning one that helps you to exceed any expectations that you may unconsciously have for yourself. Be it low self-esteem, worry, anxiety, Shawn shares how incorporating domination, not over others, but over yourself, can lead you to win. What does winning mean to you?
Winning is the fullest expression of who you are mentally, spiritually, socially, financially, and most importantly, legacy. Your fullest expression. That's why you need a coach to get into the 212, to get it all out of you, to get to the end in the last day and the last moments of your life, and there's no regrets, where you can smile like, I did it. I did what I was called to do. Like the Apostle Paul says, I ran this race. You have to make amends with isolation, rejection, and abandonment. You have to come to the conclusion that if you're going to win, you're going to stand out and people aren't going to like you. And the reason why they don't like you, oftentimes they don't even know why they don't like you. Basically, the truth is that you are stepping out and subconsciously or consciously, they're trying to pull you back in. They're trying to put you in a position. They're trying to peg you to a hole. Because when you stand out, you're saying, no, there is another way. And the societal norm is saying, no, this is the way. It's like an invisible force that wants to keep you in a certain position and keep you there. And you have to be willing to stand out. Through fear and ridicule, they're going to try to pull you back in or keep you at a certain level. But what's so amazing is that when we get older and we become adults, we love people who stand out. We admire people who are different. Like we admire, that one athlete who is basically better than anybody on the team. We love Michael Jordan. We love LeBron James.
And the number 1 most downloaded episode for 2024 is the Inquisitive Wren podcast Season 3 wrap-up. That's incredible. It's the most celebrated episode of the year. This special wrap-up takes listeners on a reflective journey through the highlights, the key lessons, and transformative moments of Season 3. It's packed with insights and heartfelt gratitude from me to my guests. This episode encapsulates everything we love about the podcast, everything I believe our listeners, our viewers love about the podcast. It is surprising, but I suppose you have the entire season all in one episode with snippets from each guest, so it's a great introduction to the podcast if you're new to the show. Here's a clip from that episode, which is a top takeaway and curious insight from a bird's eye view. And we are very proud to have featured a diverse perspective into the human condition from a variety of experts and professionals who have dedicated their lives to helping others.
Something was feeding electrical energy and I could feel it. It would just come in and it would like make the whole back of my head tingle. And I'd feel that and I'd be like, okay, something's going to happen. Something is coming through. And I learned how to channel that and use cards, palm, other ways to kind of take what was coming in and I was receiving at the base of my skull. I know it sounds a little weird, but that was how it happened for me.
Well, genealogy started for me. I've been doing it for over 15 years. But it was, as you said, the spiritual connection started to come in because I understood as I was researching and finding the incredible stories, truly a spiritual, our ancestors are around us. And, they really came in right away.
Work on what are your strengths and how you can connect. And don't try to be something you're not, like if you're not really, it's like if I wouldn't be like an auto mechanic or something, like I'm not good at it. I wouldn't be somebody taking care of plants because I think I tend to not take care of plants very well, right? So I'm not going to be a gardener. I think that we can learn how to do the ones that we maybe are not as strong in, but we should definitely use our strengths more first.
Well, my mother was very religious. And so she would talk about miracles as if they were everyday events, which proved to be correct, But then it kind of went away, And I was 19, and I had two issues. I was going through this existential angst.
December of '68. And I was thinking maybe there's something still going on there, even though the summer of love is past. There must be some remnants of the summer of love still happening. So that's why I was drawn to San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury, to catch up what's left of this famous summer of love. My friend in Denver had turned me onto the Hare Krishna mantra.
And there you have it. 2024 is a wrap. And we're excited to unwrap 2025 with brand new episodes dropping twice a month on Mondays. You can go back and listen to the full episodes, and the links are in the description below. These episodes are packed with wisdom, heart, and inspiration, perfect for a listen or re-listen. Before you go, I'd love for you to join the community of Inquisitive Wrens and share the podcast with those you know may enjoy it. We are already off to a great start as we prepare for the exciting chapters ahead. And I am so grateful for every subscriber to the podcast. It means the world. Speaking of which, I do have a special request, and that is to please leave a review, which inspires and helps me to continue on this journey to bring you episodes every month. Stay curious and keep listening as we step into an exciting chapter in 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Inquisitive Wren podcast. I hope you found it insightful. If you did, I'd love for you to share it with a friend who might enjoy it too. Don't forget to share it on social media. It really helps us reach more people who resonate with our content. If you haven't already, make sure to follow the show. It's the best way to stay connected and help our Inquisitive Wren community grow. I'd also love to hear from you. Leave a rating and a review to let me know your thoughts. And be sure to follow so you never miss the latest episodes or behind-the-scenes content from the Inquisitive Wren. Thanks again, and as always, stay curious.